From country sweetheart to global pop phenomenon, Taylor Swift has captivated millions with her enchanting voice, powerful lyrics, and magnetic stage presence. But did you know that Taylor isn't just breaking hearts, she's breaking records too? In fact, Taylor Swift holds an astounding 118 Guinness World Records. I am not Taylor's biggest fan by any means. However, this list of records is pretty unbelievable. So let's dive in. Starting with her career milestones. Most Billboard Music Awards won by a female artist, 29. Most Billboard Music Awards won in a single year with 8 awards in 2015. Youngest Album of the Year at the Grammy Awards, won at age 20 for Fearless. First female artist to win Album of the Year 3 times at the Grammy Awards for Fearless, 1989, and Folklore. Most weeks at number 1 on Billboard's Artist 100 with 50 weeks. Her influence extends beyond just awards. Taylor Swift has dominated charts and sales too. First artist to have 4 albums sell over 1 million copies in the first week in the US, with Speak Now, Red, 1989, and Reputation. Most simultaneous US Hot 100 entries by a female artist, with 18 songs in September 2019. The fastest selling digital album in the US by a female artist with 1989. Most streamed album on Spotify in 24 hours by a female, Red. Most streamed female in a single day on Spotify with 228 million streams. Her tours and live performances are legendary too. Highest grossing tour by a female artist, Reputation Stadium Tour, grossed over $340 million. Most tickets sold in a single day for a US tour, over 2 million tickets for Loverfest. And let's not forget her groundbreaking achievements in music videos and social media. Most Video of the Year wins at the MTV Video Music Awards with 3 wins. Most viewed music video online in 24 hours by a female, with Me featuring Brendan Urie. But these are just the highlights. Taylor's list of Guinness World Records is as extensive as her career. Here's a quick rundown of a few more of her 118 records she holds. Most simultaneous US Hot 100 debuts by a female artist with 14 songs. Most weeks at number 1 on the digital song sales chart with Shake It Off. Most million-selling weeks on US album charts, achieved 4 times. First female artist to replace herself at number 1 on the UK album charts, with Red replacing Fearless. Most number 1 singles in Australia by a female artist with 6 singles. Most months with 1 billion streams on Spotify by a female, achieved multiple times. Most American Music Awards won by a female artist with 40 awards. Most Teen Choice Awards with 26 awards. Most entries in the top 20 of the US digital song sales chart with 11 songs. Most cumulative weeks at number 1 on the US albums chart by a female, 63 weeks. Most top 10 hits on the US Hot 100 by a female, 40 hits. Most entries on the Billboard Hot 100 in a single week with 26 songs. First artist to debut at number 1 on both the Billboard Hot 100 and Billboard 200 in the same week with Folklore and Cardigan. Most Spotify followers of a female, over 90 million followers. Most streams on Spotify in 1 year by a female, 8 billion streams in 2021. First artist to have 7 albums each sell at least 500,000 copies in a week with multiple albums. Most weeks at number 1 on the UK albums chart by a solo artist by a female, 42 weeks. Most UK number 1 albums also by a solo artist by a female, 7 albums. Most number 1 albums on the ARIA albums chart Australia list by a female artist with 9 albums. Most UK number 1 singles in 1 year by a solo artist, 4 singles. Most weeks at number 1 on the Billboard 200 by a solo female artist, 50 weeks. Most simultaneous US Hot 100 top 10 hits by a female artist with 8 songs. Most number 1 albums on the Billboard 200 by a solo female artist, 10 albums. Most top 10 debuts on the Billboard Hot 100 by a female artist, 19 songs. Most top 40 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 by a female artist, 67 hits. Female artists to debut at number 1 on both the Billboard 200 and Billboard Hot 100 achieved multiple times. Most Grammy nominations for Song of the Year with 7 nominations. First female artist to win the Brit Award for Global Icon in 2021. Most Billboard Music Awards won in one night, 8 awards. First artist to debut at number 1 and number 2 simultaneously on the Billboard Hot 100 with Cardigan and the number 1. Most weeks at number 1 on the Billboard 200 by a female artist in the 21st century, Fearless. First artist to have an album return to number 1 on the Billboard 200 after 10 years, Fearless. Most MTV Europe Music Awards for Best Artist with 4 awards. Most MTV Europe Music Awards won by a solo artist with 9 awards. First artist to have 11 albums on the Billboard 200 simultaneously with multiple albums. First artist to have 3 albums in the top 10 of the Billboard 200 simultaneously, Folklore, Evermore, and Fearless. Most simultaneous UK top 10 albums by a female, 3 albums. First female artist to have 8 number 1 albums in Australia with multiple albums. First female artist to have 4 albums each earn at least 100 million streams in one day on Spotify, with Lover, Folklore, Evermore, and Fearless. First artist to have 5 albums debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200 in the 21st century with Speak Now, Red, 1989, Reputation, and Lover. Most weeks at number 1 on the Australian albums charts by a female, 30 weeks. First artist to have an album debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200 for 5 consecutive decades, multiple albums. First female to have 3 albums each sell over 1 million copies in their debut week in the US, with Speak Now, Red, and 1989. First artist to have 4 albums each sell over 1 million copies in their debut week in the US, with Speak Now, Red, 1989, and Reputation. Most weeks at number 1 on the Billboard 200 by a female artist in the 21st century, Fearless. First artist to have 2 albums each sell over 1 million copies in their debut week in the US in the 21st century, with Speak Now and Red. The first artist to have an album debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200 for 3 consecutive decades, with 1989, Reputation, and Lover. First artist to have an album debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200 for 4 consecutive decades, with Fearless, Speak Now, Red, and 1989. First artist to have a song debut at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 3 different decades, with Shake It Off, Cardigan, and Willow. First artist to have a song debut at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 4 different decades, with Shake It Off, Cardigan, Willow, and All Too Well. Most weeks at number 1 on the UK singles chart by a female artist, with Look What You Made Me Do. First female artist to have 5 albums debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200, with Fearless, Speak Now, Red, and 1989. She has continued breaking records with her current Eras Tour. The Eras Tour became the highest grossing tour of all time before it was even halfway finished, with over $1 billion in ticket sales. It is estimated that she will reach $2 billion once the 2024 leg of the tour has finished. Swift's Era Tour movie was nominated for Best Cinematic and Box Office Achievement, making it the first concert film to ever be nominated for a Golden Globe. On March 17, 2023, she broke the record for the highest attended concert by a female artist in the US, with over 69,000 tickets sold in Glendale, Arizona. Then she broke this record multiple times on the leg of the tour. She achieved the biggest single-day attendance at Nashville's Nissan Stadium with 71,000 people, Pittsburgh Stadium with 73,117 fans, and Seattle's Lumen Field with 72,171 attendees. Then broke the 3-day attendance record at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas with 217,000 635 fans, and breaking the 3-day record at Melbourne's Cricket Ground with 288,000 fans, which was the largest shows of her entire career. From the studio to the stage and beyond, Taylor Swift's accomplishments are truly unparalleled. Each record is a testament to her talent, hard work, and an incredible bond she shares with her fans worldwide. So whether you're a lifelong Swiftie or just discovering her music, there's no denying the impact Taylor Swift has had on the music industry and pop culture. Thanks for watching, and look out for more videos coming soon.